How big of a deal do you think this is for Xavier soccer to have this kind of honor?
I think the people who are involved in the sport and in the athletic department know to host is an honor and a feather in our cap. I'm not sure if the average person is going to look at anything more than an NCAA tournament game. But, you know, we've been fortunate to have achieved a lot of milestones in a short time since I've been here. And there was a point where we were saying, well, what's next? What more can we do? And I always had a vision. The day I interviewed for this job, I was out on the field, and I pictured a home NCAA tournament game with the hill full on a cold fall night. And I told the guys about that early in the season and challenged them to have some visions of their own. So this is something we've talked about, and I'm just happy for some of our guys who have had to live up to the billings of their predecessors, that they've been able to make some small steps and put some more milestones on their resume.
As you mentioned, this isn't a first for this program, but what was the excitement like in the room when you found out you would be hosting?
It never gets old. You know, having not gone last year, I think there's more of an appreciation for it rather than an excitement. I think our body of work, probably 5 or 6 games ago, I had a pretty good sense that we were in. And then coming off of last night's defeat in the Big East Championship game, I think it's a nice turnaround to move on to the next game and have a uplifting experience after what was a disappointing and long night last night.
Looking at the forecast, the snow is on the ground outside right now. How does this team prepare, given the elements, the challenges that come with snow and the elements leading up to those hockey?
I think there's some slight adjustments. I think the turf helps, but one thing that will sound crazy, but as a coach, when we train out there in February and March, we talk about playing in the snow in November, and good teams play in the snow. And the reward for soccer is you get to play into the bad weather. But those of us that do it think it's great, and the more clothing you're wearing and the colder it is means the better you're doing.
How good do you feel about this team at this point of the year? You know, coaches always talk about playing your best when you go into the most important games. Do you think this team's got a chance to play some best and do some damage in this tournament?
You know, Friday night against Georgetown, I think we actually improved and got better. Our MO all year has been to be consistently good and occasionally great. We may need a couple moments of greatness on Thursday, but we probably just need to be consistently good. And that starts with our approach the next 2 days, and that's staying in the middle. I do think the Big East, week in, week out, there's 4 of the top 10 seeds RPR-wise came from the Big East. I think our, you know, experience of getting a heavyweight fight every week and some of the games we've played in the last 3 or 4 weeks really better prepare us than our opponent. And I do think our guys won't just be happy to be here. And I think there's a bit of an edge and a bit of a chip on their shoulder because of what happened last night. And even though it's disappointing, I think it probably is a good little carrot to put in front of them leading into Thursday.